Welcome to Powerslide TV for an old-fashioned two-head, one-brain episode. So it's like this is 3/4 of the brain, this is 1/4 of the brain. So today we want to talk about an issue which actually a lot of people are asking us, basically frame adjustment. So here we have the Trinity system, and we call it, our system we call X-Slot system. So basically it helps you to adjust the frame after your needs. So first of all, the frame can be adjusted front and back. So you push it more to the front, which means then actually you have a little bit more power on the heel. You have a little bit longer push on the heel. In the corners, you have a little bit more grip. When you push it backwards, the boot, and the frame forward, then you have a little bit more front push, which is maybe better for long distance than when you're going more on roads and streets and everything. And then the second biggest point, I guess, which is actually coming from race skating and from tracks especially, that you can adjust the frame position sideways. So you can move the frame to the side. With the X-Slot system, you have about a movement of 3 to 4 to 5 millimeters, depending on the screws you use and on the position on the heel you put the frame.
So one of the big questions is obviously, where do you start? I mean, obviously I come from a history of speed skating and racing skating. And so with kids and things, and this also translates to adults and basically anyone who skates, number one where to start is always bang in the middle. The reason why, and that's the middle not only inside to outside, but also front to backwards. This is because it's generally the rough guide what works for everyone. Myself, my frame is still more or less in the middle. It's a little inside now, but it's just generally what works. As Matthias said earlier, the moving the frame forward and backwards, that shouldn't also be underestimated as well, especially with bigger wheels, because the difference in weight distribution is also important to manage.
Especially if you have shin problems or other problems, it's easier to move the frame a little bit backwards. So in your shin, the tibia has less work to do. So that's sometimes a quite big point. And also, like Scott was saying, for the technique, if you put the frame more to the inside, it's easier to go on the outside edge, which is actually the technique of speed skating for the double push. So while putting the frame more to the inside, it's easier to go to the outside edge. So in general, when people have, a lot of people, they fall to the inside. When you fall to the inside, you move your frame to the inside to have more support on the inside. When you fall to the outside, you put your frame to the outside so you have more support and better power transfer on the outside. If nothing is really helping, then we have actually the stride control. And the stride control, it's like little plastic pieces. Scott is holding them up. So for Trinity, we have 2 on the front, 1 inside and 1 outside, and 1 on the heel. It's actually vice versa what you will be thinking. So when you actually fall to the inside, you will put the high part on the outside. So normally you would think, oh, I'm falling to inside, I need more support on the inside and make the higher piece on the inside. That's not correct. So when you fall to the inside, put the high part of the outside of the boot, and then and the other way around, if you fall to the outside, put the high part on the inside. Like this, you will stand more stable and don't fall to the inside and the outside. So this little trick is really a big helper. And a lot of the top guys also use it to have a better stand and more push and a better power transfer too.
Yeah, it really shouldn't be underestimated. I mean, these little plastic wedges, they really change your whole skating dynamic. Simply because, I mean, everybody has a little bit different body shape, a little bit different pronation and things like that in their feet. So it's really important to find what works for you. And I mean, between all these tools, we can help. We create skates that fit most people, but sometimes you just need that little bit of extra help, and that's where these stride control guys come in. As Matthias said, we have the 3-piece system, works for Trinity, but we also have it for normal 195 traditional mountings as well.
And that's why we recommend really before you go skating or skating first time and you feel some problems, the next thing, you should really set up your skates properly, because it's when you're spending hours in your skate, they should be perfectly aligned. And a lot of people don't do it because they just want to go out and skate. But it really helps if you set it up properly, set the frame up, maybe use a stride control, and then adjust really all the little pieces and bits and pieces like you want. So really you have the perfect power transfer and perfect comfort. And a lot of people have orthopedic problems with feet. They have fallen arches, they have flat feet. So all this could be actually corrected with the position of the frame or with a stride control and the little wedges.
A little tip. Sorry, just to cut in. A little tip to do it, to test it. If you're a beginner or even up to a medium level skater, when you get a brand new pair of skates, go out and test your balance on one foot. Just simply roll along on one foot. And if you can do it stably and with the foot all aligned, then you're good to go. But if you notice, okay, hang on a minute, I'm falling inside or outside, then you need to make some adjustments. But try and isolate it. So don't just go skating out normally, because there's a lot of other things to think about and a lot of things going on. So just focus on balancing on one foot to test it in the first way.
And sometimes it's only one foot which needs maybe help and the other foot is perfectly okay. So these were just little tips and little helpers. And we hope you enjoyed this episode. Again, Scott would say if you have questions,
leave them down. And hopefully, we also have a little infographic on this subject too. So it's up there, or it's somewhere around.
Thanks for watching and keep on rolling.
And we love to skate.